Perspective on Business podcast. I'm Emily.
And I'm Laura.
We are sisters and business partners.
As we also run a recruitment business with a twist together.
Wonderful. So, Loz, what can you expect from our show?
So much stuff, advice, tips and wisdom on business and recruitment with some life hacks thrown in for good measure and a lot of laughs.
Oh, yeah. We hope you enjoy it.
Hello. I'm Laura Leyland, Managing Director of Fresh Perspective. This is a Fresh Perspective on Business podcast, and I am here today with Tony Greenwood.
Hello.
Hi, Tony. How are you today?
All right.
Yeah?
I need to move the key light.
I want to be able to see my
Yeah, to see
face.
your face, yeah. You're not in joggers today, are you? Or a running T-shirt?
No, I feel like I'm all fancy.
You're looking jazzy. You're going for some lunch.
I am going for some lunch. I'm going to a boot out breast cancer lunch at Rivington Barn with Susie Orr.
Oh, I've heard of her. I don't think I've met her.
Well, you need to meet her because she's wonderful. But they are one of the charities for the Freshies Awards that we are supporting. And I love Rivy Barn and I like lunch and I love Susie. So I thought, why not go?
What a great combination of things that is.
Yeah, so I thought I'd make an effort and actually have an opportunity to wear some of the things I got for Christmas and my birthday in January.
Oh.
Even though it's nearly the end of March.
Okay, why have you not worn them before?
Because I've not been anywhere fancy and also the weather's been rubbish.
Yeah, it has. And it's still a bit rubbish today.
So I've got my first time I've had my new leather jacket on that my dad got me for my birthday.
Oh, thank you, Mick. Very kind.
Because I've had to choose coats with hoods since January.
I don't like wearing a hood.
Because I don't like holding an umbrella.
Oh, I prefer an umbrella to a hood.
Right, okay, interesting.
And I prefer a hat to an umbrella to a hood.
I do when I'm running.
Yeah, you can't run with an umbrella though.
I mean, you could. It would be a pain. But you could run with an umbrella.
Awesome.
You won't want to, though.
You'd look unusual. Hello, everybody. We're back in the podcast studio. I'm here with my friend Laura. This is episode 189. It's called Good Vibrations, isn't it?
I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me the excitations. I'm picking up good vibrations. She's giving me excitations. Ooh, 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 good vibrations. Oh, yeah.
That is the Beach Boys, for anyone that didn't know, and I didn't know.
Not the Beatles.
Not the Beatles. I thought it was a minute ago, but that's...
What else did you think it was?
Oh, you've thrown me under the bus here. I thought it was a lyric from Ride on Time by Black Box from 1990.
Ride on Time. That's all I know.
But
what is the actual lyric?
Hot Temptation, not good vibrations. So it's totally different.
You're a hot temptation.
Or
you just walk right in, walk right in.
Or you're a good vibration, but you're not a good vibration. You're a hot temptation.
I am a hot temptation.
You're a hot temptation.
Especially today.
Especially today. It's so hot in here as well. Wowzers. And this episode is because of International Happiness Day. Who thought that was a thing? I didn't until earlier on this week, and it was on Wednesday. So it's all about, this podcast is all about creating happiness in the workplace and making sure doing your best to make sure you've got a happy team. Not always a given.
No, it's not always a given. And if you do focus on having a happy team and you just don't really care about the happiness levels, the outcome is that you'll still have a positive benefit because it will impact your bottom line. Absolutely. So if that's all you care about, you still need to focus on workplace happiness. But if you do like happiness and you care about the people that work for you, then even better.
But first... This is episode 189 of A Fresh Perspective on Business podcast. But Laura, can you share with me and everyone listening, what is that in Spanish, please?
Episodio número 189.
Oh, it has been so long since I've heard that in my ears.
It has, because I wasn't on the last podcast, and then the ones before you weren't on.
Cheryl and Vicky.
So it's been 4 weeks.
They do their best, Cheryl and Vicky, don't they? And that's good. But they're,
Do you know what? All they can do is the best.
I know.
And that is all I would ever want from them.
Yeah. I think Cheryl last week, was it Ocho? It's not that Cheryl, but anyway, she does her best, and that's good. It's usually this part of the podcast. Well, it is this part of the podcast where we just share a little bit of what we've been up to in the world of fresh. And if you see anything across our social media or you've been listening to podcasts, you'll know that running is a big thing. Mm-hmm. but Laura's running exploits have been curtailed of recent weeks.
Curtailed. Excellent word.
Thank you. Because of a small injury to your foot.
Oh my God, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks ago, I actually couldn't walk.
No.
Which was very perturbing.
Yes. Bit of a difference to pulling your back, washing your hair in the shower.
Yeah.
This is different.
I mean, that was also a pain in the bum, but, well, the back.
Pain in the back.
But yeah, I don't know. Well, I hadn't actually done anything. Couldn't walk one day, definitely couldn't run.
No.
Very worried because the marathon was about 7 or 8 weeks away.
Yes.
Turns out I have a very tight anterior tibialis.
Anterior tibialis.
Which,
is that in the foot?
No. Which is the muscle that runs down the front of your shin, like to the side of your shin bone.
Right. Who'd have thought?
Because when no one thinks to stretch that muscle.
No, I always stretch the hamstring around the back and the calves.
Yeah. Yeah, so that was very tight, and the tendon underneath my foot was also tight. So we've been focusing on those, and it's much better. And I actually managed to run 14.3 miles.
Wonderful.
On, was it Sunday?
Sunday.
Although
yes.
I did start to feel my foot at mile 14. I wanted to continue to 15, but didn't think I should.
No.
I should take my own advice and listen to my body.
Correct.
And so Tony had to come and rescue me from Tesco.
I actually texted Laura and she said, I'm sat at Tesco having a brew, my foot's hurting. I said, well, I'm about to have a little nod. So I can either come now and just get you, or you can walk home. She said, yeah, come now. So that's, it is what it is. You got to listen to your body. And more often than not, I'm starting to learn that. Certainly in marathon training camp is like, whoa, just listen. What's hurting, and just rewind. And the body's telling you stuff when it hurts. Yeah,
well, whether that's mentally, emotionally, or physically. And it's sometimes when you think, oh, it's just an ache and a pain, I'm going to push on, when really you should listen to that and think. But it's knowing what is, because sometimes when I was running 14 miles, at some points I got a pain in my upper leg, I had a pain somewhere else. I'm like, oh, what's this? But then it went. So I'm like, okay, that's fine, we'll carry on.
Yeah.
But the foot thing was getting more and more and more. I'm like, right, this is where I need to stop. Whereas if I hadn't stopped, I probably would have hurt myself. I would have done 15 miles, but I would be in a bad way right now.
I feel like I can get to 10 miles easy, right? I don't really have any aches and pains. The knees are good. I'm feeling strong. After that, I don't know. It's just there's little things just start coming in, a little bit of a quad here and a little bit of an ankle there, and knees start to hurt. And like, maybe we just need to stick to running to 10 miles. But
but I think that's normal because you're pushing past your comfortable limit.
You are pushing.
Because there are no limits.
There are no limits. I love that. Hashtag no limits. There absolutely are no limits. I just banged my pen on the desk there to confirm that there are no limits.
Emphasise the point.
Emphasise. The only limits are in your head. You've moved house recently, haven't you? Have you got any cupboard handles on these days?
Oh my goodness. I do have cupboard handles, and I have, what else I have internal doors now.
Who knew cupboard handles would be so important in the home?
Oh, I tell you what, you don't realise how appreciative you are of cupboard handles until you don't have any on all your cupboard units, and it's hard to open the doors.
Because presumably you would have had to bend all the way down to the bottom. I'm trying to...
Yeah. Go bend down or open it, try and open it with my foot if I'm being lazy. And then I had to tape, like, masking tape on the underneath of the upper cupboards so that I could have something to pull them open with, because I had to get a knife in one of them to try and open it, to get a mug out, to have a coffee.
Feels like
Which is not what you want to be doing at 6:30 a.m.
No,
but I have handles now and I have doors. Everything's coming along. It's been very, very, very fucking stressful.
How many weeks have you been in? Like 6, I reckon.
4.
4?
4 this weekend. I moved on the 23rd of February.
Do you want 13,000 steps helping you move house? Just walking around 2 houses and gardens.
Impressive as well, considering you had a hangover.
Yeah, I did have a hangover in the morning. I was all right in the afternoon, but that was that was incredible. And you had a glass drama a few weeks ago, didn't you? You had some new doors fitted.
Oh my
double
goodness.
glazed, and one of the double glazed windows decided it didn't want to be there anymore.
Yeah, Pete, my boyfriend, he just shut the door and it just smashed. This is like 7 a.m. in the morning. I just stood in the kitchen area. I say kitchen area because it wasn't a functioning kitchen at the time. In my pajamas, I just made a coffee and I was like, oh my God, I don't know what to do in this situation. I just walked off.
Did you? Yeah.
I can't deal with this right now. I'm going to go and have my coffee and I'll come back.
I cannot deal with this broken glass.
Yeah, so I went away, had my coffee, and then I started ringing around glass companies. So we have glass on order. God knows when it's going to show up.
I'm going to pin in this massive pane of broken glass here for an hour, just while I gather myself together.
I'm just going to put this on ice and come back to it.
Which is
how you should deal with most problems, I think.
It is.
Because aren't you supposed to respond and not react? So if I'd have reacted, so I'm like, I'm going to go away, I'm going to calm my emotions, and then I'm going to respond with proactivity.
Yeah, it's a good advice in life, is that?
Yeah. I've had to do that quite a lot this week. Like with people. Just people in general. I'm not going to go into details, but yeah, I've had to just like, okay, digest, go away, come back, respond. Don't react emotionally. Because, I mean, sometimes it's okay to react emotionally, but sometimes you may not be your most rational self.
People. Speaking of people, new people coming into the fold at Fresh.
My goodness, yes, we have some new talent seekers starting next month.
Is one a boy?
What, it is a boy? So we have 2 boys.
Wonderful. I was fortunate enough to be sat behind the room where the interview was going on maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And it didn't sound like an interview. It just sounded like a bit of a knees up with so much laughing and frivolity.
It did sound like just a catch up with old friends.
Yeah. But welcome aboard to New Freshies. That's very exciting. The business is growing. People are recruiting.
Woo!
And we need more hands on deck, more talent seekers to fill these great roles that our great clients are bringing to us, which is it's a nice thing to do.
And we need more people because we're having shuffle rounds internally with Cheryl moving into a sales role, Rachel's transitioning into marketing. So we need to give those two the opportunities in which to flourish and do what they want to do. We need to then hire more people to backfill their original positions.
Absolutely.
So that we still don't drop any balls anywhere, especially not when we're delivering very valuable recruitment work to our customers.
Very valuable customers.
So yeah, it's exciting. So it's like we are growing, but also the team are developing and growing, which does link into workforce happiness.
It does. Very happy team today.
So we're not having to change things internally to support that growth and development, which is dead exciting because it means we're outsourcing less and bringing more of it in-house, which is lovely.
Speaking of exciting, it's been the fresh interview stages over the past week or two, hasn't it? How stressful or stressless has that been, do you think?
I'm going to choose to be positive and say it's been absolutely amazing because all the finalists, every day over the last 3 weeks, so last day of interviewing 2 days, last category, have been so inspiring. And that's the feedback coming back from the judges, that they feel humbled and really appreciative that they get to listen to all these amazing stories.
Wonderful.
Some have brought a tear to the eye. I'm led to believe Captain Kindness, Exceptional Employee and other categories. But the people have been sharing their stories as well to kind of back up why they want to be in the awards, and it's been amazing. And the judges have been fantastic, giving up their time and energy to help decide our winners, especially those that have stepped into the brink.
Absolutely.
At the last minute.
The curveballs of dreams.
With unexpected cancellations that sometimes cannot be helped.
That's true.
And some of these people I don't even know, which is really, how lovely is that?
Oh.
I've put a call out to my friends, and my friends have asked their friends, and they've said, yeah, and these kind people helping me, Laura Leyland, who they don't know. Might have seen on LinkedIn once or twice.
Probably have.
But yeah, so that I've been blown away by. It's hard to not get caught up with the negatives of people cancelling and not showing up, and some people letting you down for no good reason, in my opinion. But what I wanted to focus on was the amount of people that have positively stepped in to help us support, which is amazing. So thank you to all those guys.
Thank you to those great people.
So, Tony, I'm looking at the schedule, and you mentioned something about a bishop in a brewery, which sounds a bit like the beginning of a joke.
Oh, isn't a bit of a joke?
Right, okay.
So, for those that don't know, I'm the sales director for Beartown Brewery in Congleton. So I do beer and stuff as well.
Beer and stuff.
As well as having the privilege of hot desking from Fresh a couple of times a week. And Joe, my MD, sent me a picture a few weeks ago of 3 bishops who just came to the brewery because they were having some kind of meeting in Congleton. the Bishop of Chester, the Bishop of Birkenhead, and another bishop, and they just rocked up to the brewery, met Graham, had a brewery tour, blessed all the team, had a beer and left.
Bless the team. Did they bless the beer?
I don't know, but Joe said he felt very empowered after he had a blessing from a bishop. Not often you get a blessing from a bishop. I mean, my mum, she's into... I say she's into God, she's very religious, is my mum. And anytime the Bishop of Blackburn's kicking around Chorley or Blackburn, she's in. She wants to see the bishop. They're big time, aren't they? I mean, they're not for me personally, but
I mean, they have big hats.
Massive hats. Massive hats.
I have a question for you.
About bishops?
About bishops.
Okay.
What is the collective noun for a group of bishops?
Bishopi?
A college?
A college? A college of...
I just asked Google because I love the collective name for things. Like, it's usually animals that I'm looking at because you've got a stripe of tigers and a pride of lions.
Okay.
But apparently so it says bishops are collectively known as the College of Bishops.
We had a College of Bishops in our brewery. And I wonder how many breweries up and down the UK their team get blessed by a bishop. I'm telling you, not many.
Do you want to know what collection of vicars is called?
Well, yeah, obviously.
A prudence.
The prudence of vicars. Welcome. Well, listen. Beautiful.
Well, that's what Google says. So
It must
if
be right,
anyone's
Google's.
listening and thinks that I'm wrong, it's not my fault. I'm getting my facts from Google.
Okay. If you know what the collective noun is for bishops or vicars, and it's not those words, please send Vicky Taylor a message on LinkedIn with the correct collective word. This is providing a lot of entertainment for Laura right now. I can tell you, look at her across the podcast there. She's very pleased with herself.
Did they come into the brewery with the hats on?
No.
Oh, that would have been mega.
That's when they're in the church doing
Oh.
stuff. Or the cathedral. They're in the cathedral, aren't they? Hold on, where's I can show you the picture. There we go.
So let me see. So did the arrival of the bishops contribute to the happiness of the team at Beartown Brewery?
I think people were quite
Oh,
humbled
yeah.
that bishops turned up.
Which one? So two are very clearly bishops. Where's the third one? Is he in the blue coat?
Yeah, they're just not...
Just cash.
Just cash. A sports casual member of the clergy.
Oh, I love that story.
Yeah, and Graham. Yeah.
Okay, right, lovely.
Anyway,
Okay. Workforce happiness.
Workforce happiness.
So International Happiness Day, what's it all about?
It's a global movement towards a happier, more inclusive and resilient world.
Oh. And you know what? I feel like it's more and more important these days when you look at it. Was it 4 years ago?
Oh my goodness, it was. I only heard that on the radio yesterday. It was like 4 years since COVID lockdown, and you were like, oh my! And that's when I'd argue that's when the world changed forever, didn't it? And everything just went 180 degrees, and no one knew what was going on. I remember I was in a pub on the Sunday afternoon before the Monday or Tuesday lockdown, and everyone was talking about COVID. Like everyone was talking about COVID. There was nothing, and all of a sudden, bang! It was all gone. So, and work life changed forever, didn't it? There's still some organisations now that haven't gone back to that full integrated office space. A lot of people working from home remotely, and how do you capture that? There must still be a little bit of disconnect, and how do you keep those people on the happiness trail? Difficult.
That's what that means. Workplace happiness is harder to inspire these days because you're not always in control of the workplace. Because for a lot of people, the workplace is their home. And I know quite a lot of businesses. When we went into lockdown, just got rid of their offices. A lot of creative businesses are, we don't actually need it. We work from home anyway. And at the time, I remember thinking, just think this is a knee-jerk reaction. Like, some businesses will suit only having a remote workforce, and that's why they were already potentially set up, and that's how they've set the business up. It's the people they've hired. They've always been remote. I think it was hard going from being in the office to then being remote, and then some people just completely change into fully remote and get rid of the office. And I know that some of those people that did that have walked it back and gone and got another office, or have regretted the decision because it's entirely changed their culture.
I couldn't imagine. So I go to Congleton, to our brewery and office space, once a week, every single Monday, because I need to. Laura's just moving.
I'm moving because this thing is doing my head in. I'm having to look around it to see you.
The key light.
Yeah.
It's nice you want to see me. And then, so we've got a number of people in the sales. We've got 4 people in the sales team. And, 3 of them were, one's in Congleton, one's in Manchester, another one's in Congleton, but they're all around Yorkshire as well. And I'll only see them once a week.
Oh, is that on a Monday?
Always on a Monday.
Always going on a Monday.
Always going on a Monday. And then the rest.
So do they work from home the rest of the week?
Or they're remotely out seeing customers. So Matt, one of the guys, is in Liverpool today. One of the lads is in Macclesfield and Buxton. One of the lads is in Rome, not selling. He's on holiday.
Oh, right. Okay. I was going, wow, exporting to internationally.
So, but what I do try and do every single morning between 8:45 and 9:15, always ring the team, always on the WhatsApp. How are you doing? What's happening today? Do you need anything from me? How are you feeling? Etc. Etc. And I think for remote teams, that connectivity is really important. Like one of the guys rings me after every single appointment, every single one. I don't know if sometimes like it must ring me half a dozen times a day.
Oh, bless him.
I know he loves it. He loves it. It was so buzzing yesterday after a deal, and I think I want to keep that connectivity with the team, because they take the piss out of me sometimes because I ask them to do things they don't like to do, but ultimately I want to keep a close-knit team and make sure that they are ultimately happy in what they're doing. They feel supported. They've got every resource that they need in order to be effective in their role as salespeople. And we've got a nice little sales community going on. It's not a massive team. There's 4 or 5 of us. One girl's in the office, but just keep it close knit.
Yeah. No, you're right. And I think because I bullet pointed all the things that can help create happiness, and I feel like connectivity links them all together. So I've got like positivity, kindness, good deeds. It's just the act of smiling, gratitude, just in the mirror, just randomly, or at other people. Because if you smile at someone, they smile back. So you force them into a smile. And there's actual studies that show just the act of smiling makes you feel more positive.
Back to running. When I was out with running, before we picked you up running a few weeks ago when Vicky did a long run, I say hello to every single person that I see running.
Yeah, I know. I'd run with you, remember?
Vicky couldn't believe. I was like, just say hello.
It's not just exclusive to running either. Well, I remember when we went to support at the Manchester Marathon last year, we were just talking to everyone. Hey, I like your jumper. Great socks.
I do it without... I don't know. I just do it without thinking. But yeah, I always smiling at people, especially cyclists and runners. Shout out the cyclists and runners around.
We've got to stick together, or else we just get run over by mean motorists.
Absolutely.
Someone told me to get on the path the other day on Sunday, and there wasn't a path on either side of the road. I don't know what they're like. Get out the road. I'm like, where am I supposed to go?
Yeah.
There's nowhere.
I prefer running the road. So if you are a motorist around Chorley, Wigan, Charnock, Richard, etc., please be kind to the runners who run in the road like me and Laura.
Do you know what? There is a reason why I run in the road sometimes. It's especially when the pavement has got like tree roots in it or it's uneven.
Correct.
Because I have fallen over running once and broke my ankle. And so I do not want to do that again, especially when I've got a marathon to run.
Correct.
So I will pick the road because it's usually flatter and safer for me to be as a person.
Correct.
Unless you want to try and run me over, then obviously it's not safe.
But, we're having a bit of a rant here. You wouldn't beep and honk at a cyclist though, would you?
Or a horse. Because you know what? A horse would probably kick your car. I'll tell you what, if you beep at me again, I will kick your car.
Or a horse. And then argue.
Wouldn't it? Is it because they see cyclists and horses have modes of transport?
I don't know. I wasn't expecting the horse, but yeah, I don't see many horses at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning, but yeah, it's true. You would not beep at a cyclist or a horse or any kind of animal, would you? So
No, there's all these bloody signs everywhere going, think bike. What about think runner?
Think runner.
Just think other human person that you don't want to kill.
Think kindness. Continue.
Anyway, going on from smiling. But you running past people going, hiya, or going, hey, I like your jumper. If they're having a shit day and you've gone, I really like your jumper, like, oh, for that tiny, even if it's just a tiny fleeting moment, you've injected a small amount of positivity into their day. And then that makes you feel good. But then gratitude logs, exercise, health and nutrition, and community. It all, you could say that most of that, if not all, links to connections and connectivity. So that is how I do believe that we move towards a happier, more inclusive, resilient world. Whether that's in work, when you run it, or when you're running, or outside of work.
Absolutely.
So and like you say with your remote team, it's connectivity. Like, will you, for positivity, for kindness, for community, for good deeds. It's connections with those people when they're not with you all the time.
Exactly right. And if they feel that they've got connectivity, they'll feel happier because they will, you know, if something goes wrong or they need some support, they'll know that they'll be able to approach it at any time. So that's what.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we promote here at Beartown Brewery.
And there are even studies that show that positive thoughts, positive thinking promote positive health and can actually. You know, there's a lot of information statistics out there that it helps with actual. A good physical health, not just mental health. But so being happy and positive will help with more positive mental health and also physical health. There is information out there that does try to link positive thoughts and positive thinking with overcoming illnesses.
Okay, I got a statistic. The top 20% of the most engaged teams showed a 59% reduction in staff turnover and a 41% reduction in absenteeism.
Yep.
So what that means is that more engaged and happy people want to stay in that organisation because it's a nice, happy, engaged place. And if they are feeling a bit rough or they are feeling under the weather, they're going to come to work and they're going to want to go the extra mile because it's a happy environment.
Absolutely,
they
they want to be there, yeah.
And they want to be there. Absolutely right.
And then by coming, when they're not feeling it, to a happy environment, that in turn makes them feel happier, more positive and better than they did before. It's so important. And another stat is happy employees are 12% more productive than unhappy employees.
Yeah, you will be, won't you?
Yeah, so even if you don't care about your people, which I don't agree with, because you should care about the people, because without the people in your business, you don't have a business. You don't have anyone to deliver the service you provide
do
or
the stuff you need
make
to do.
the products or sell the products or anything like that. So I feel like, was it Richard Branson that said that your team should be your most important asset? Because if you focus on your team and you look after them, you make them happy, they'll do the same to your customers.
Absolutely right.
And so if you don't care about your people, which me and Richard Branson and Tony don't agree with,
oh, you do care.
At the very least, you will have a reduce in absence, reduce in stress, reduce retention. Therefore, your recruitment won't be needed as much, only for growth. And you spend, because you still need also fresh perspective.
Yeah, whoa, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, yeah.
And but you won't spend as much on recruitment because you'll only be recruiting for growth and not attrition. And then customer service levels will soar because your customers are being treated well. Productivity increases. You'll make more money. You'll make more profit. Like, there's wins all round.
Absolutely.
And if you do care about your people, then you get all these other benefits as well.
Exactly. So I thought about this topic and I'm like, well, if you think about someone who's happy at work and someone who's unhappy at work, if they're in that customer service, first line customer response position, you know, what's the telephone manner going to be like? What's their attitude going to be like? What level of helpfulness will they deliver back to that customer, either over the phone or in person? And you can imagine, can't you, if you're bubbly, happy, enjoying your job, enjoying your role, enjoying your environment, then hello, Fresh Perspective, how can I help you? Oh yes, thanks for ringing. Or hello, Fresh Perspective. Yeah, all gone. Yeah, what's your account number? Yeah, I mean, like, oh.
no one's going to think that we are energetic, enthusiastic, awesome recruiters if that's the response.
No.
But that's not. Should it be a reflection on the whole business? It could just be one person's not feeling it that day.
But the customer experience.
But the customer doesn't know that.
No, the customer doesn't know that.
We've all been on the phone to customer service departments where you had both of those experiences.
Yeah. I was on my broadband went down a few weeks ago, and I was on the phone to Brian from Talk Talk. I don't think his name was Brian. He definitely wasn't in this country. But he was happy with. You could tell he was happy with the tone of his voice. He was very accommodating. He was very helpful. And I honestly said to him at the end of the call, it was 40 minutes the call, so it was difficult for me. I was on hold a lot. But anyway, I said, listen, Brian, thank you very much for your time. And thank you for being helpful.
Thank you for being helpful, yeah. With the answer phone, like, hi, blah, 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 how can I help you?
Yeah.
And you say your problem, and like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry to hear that that's happened. Let's look into how we can help you. Versus other situations where they're like, well, usually when you ring HMRC.
Oh, shout out HMRC.
No, actually, do you know what? I have had a couple of really amazing people, but they are few and far between. And never, ever, who likes ringing HMRC? You're on hold for like a year. And then you may or may not get a helpful person. But then we've had people like, oh, hello? Right, okay. And then it's silence. I'm like, hello, you still there? Yeah, I'm just looking into it. Right, okay.
You said to me last year, it was last year on a podcast, you're like, you definitely said to me, and this really resonated, like, who's a competitor for HMRC? There isn't one. You've just got to deal with the same people.
You don't have to deliver a good customer service because you have no choice.
No choice. No competitors.
The government needs to make a change.
Yeah. Or bringing in an alternative provider to HMRC. Like a rival.
Shake things up.
So I have two divisions.
Because you know what? If HMRC had competition, then actually I do think that the government would make more money from tax because there'd be less mistakes.
Well, you need to go and speak to Lindsay Hoyt.
You'd have a happier country.
Come on.
And therefore, if the country is more happy and more positive, we're setting up businesses, our businesses are doing well, everyone's doing what they're supposed to be doing, the country will thrive.
Yeah, come
on. So basically, we need to set up a business that competes for HMRC.
Yeah.
Right, who do we need to contact?
And I'm not sure. It feels like it should be.
Let's contact Rishi.
Oi. I'm not sure he'd take the call. You know Lindsay Hoyle, though, don't you?
Oh, I do know. Maybe there we go. There's our way in.
There's your way in.
Mr. Hoyle, I'm coming for you.
What other tips and tricks would you suggest about... I put one about meetings. Because you can have tricky meetings, can't you? But starting meetings with positivity and, just setting your stall out from the get-go, I think will ensure that colleagues are a bit more engaged, creative, motivated, and just gives you a better opportunity of overcoming any challenges you've got.
Hey, and you know what? Next week's podcast is all about how to be an amazing employer. So if you want tips on how to improve the happiness of your workforce to get kick-ass productivity, customer service, customer retention, blah, 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 then listen next week, because then we'll give you all the tips.
Woo! That's 190. That's Easter. That's only 10 till 200. Woo!
And do you know what you can talk about next week?
What?
Easter eggs! Tony wanted to talk about Easter eggs 2 weeks ago, and I told him he wasn't allowed to. And he was very sad.
Only because I break the mold and eat loads. We'll talk about it next week.
Just because Asda decides to start selling them in February
60.
doesn't mean we need to talk about them next.
There was 60p. There was 60p. I mean, Tony, why have you not got a six-pack? Well, Asda, let me tell you, 60p. How often do we show appreciation? An easy question to ask, but actually when we think about it, you've done a great job. Well done for that. Thanks very much. That was a good piece of work. You really worked hard today. All those things you would arguably take for granted, and you should say those to your team and to your colleagues, but maybe we don't as much as we should.
No, I really try hard to, but sometimes when I'm probably up against it and stressed, it's probably one thing that maybe not goes out the window completely, but I probably don't remember to do it as much. But I wherever I can, I want to be interested in the team, so I ask them about their lives, what they've got going on, and I remember and I catch up with them about it, and I do try to say thank you and show gratitude wherever it's needed, which is
Yeah.
all the time at Fresh Perspective because they're amazing.
They are good. They are a good team. They are a good team. Happiness should extend to your recruitment process. Laura, how would you advise any organisation who are looking to do recruitment at the moment to extend happiness to that process?
Oh my goodness, I feel like I need a whole other podcast to talk to you about that because that is what I do.
It is.
That is my bag. My thing, I've realised recently, I always thought my thing was helping people. I've realised that that's not the case. I
Okay.
do like helping people, but I think what really lights my fire is inspiring others. And one area that I like to do that is inspiring other business people, business owners, to inject positivity, fun, joy, happiness, kindness into their recruitment and retention practices to help their businesses fly and do really well because you need your people. So
That's it.
how to inject happiness into your recruitment process is joy, fun, enthusiasm and energy. Pick the right people to do your recruitment and think about being kind and respectful to candidates. They're human people. So are the people that already work for you, and the people that potentially will work for you in the future are no different. So you need to make sure they have the absolute best experience ever. So they love the sound of your company. They tell other people about it. They want to join, whether that's then or they might circle back to you in a few years' time, which has happened at Fresh Perspective. The ripple effects of having a positive recruitment campaign, because basically you are just all constantly selling and marketing your business to other people, is huge. People will talk about you. They'll remember how you made them feel.
Yes.
They'll want to come and work for you. They'll tell other people to come and work for you. They might even tell their friends, family, partners that they should be a client of yours.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
it absolutely should extend. But only if your workplace is like that. If your workplace isn't positive and exciting and a lovely place to be, and you inject that into your recruitment, then people are just going to be like, wow, where have I come? This wasn't what they sold to me. So maybe work on the workplace bit first, focus on that and your retention, and then, if you can, then move to the recruitment process.
Well, yeah, surely a recruitment process just should be happy anyway. But maybe it isn't always.
It should.
Maybe it always isn't.
It should be, but in some cases it's not.
Oh, man.
But that's okay, because then they draft in Fresh Perspective and we bring the vibes.
We bring the joy, we bring the energy, we bring the happiness, we bring the success.
Yeah, as well as a ton of expertise, wisdom and amazing recruitment practices.
And sweets.
And sweets, yes.
You've made a note here that says Tim Ferriss interview with Barbara Corcoran, the Queen of New York real estate.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
I don't know who she is. She's American, obviously, New York real estate.
That's
but I
it.
did see a snippet of the interview on Instagram.
Okay.
It was an Instagram reel. So Tim Ferriss was interviewing her for his podcast.
Great.
And the snippet was, hire happy people. She said, complainers will suck the life out of you.
Yeah.
And the negative people drain you and your energy and the energy and optimism out of all of your other employees and then your customers. And so she said she would hire for skills and experience. They'd be like the best salesperson ever. But she said they just sucked the life out of the company and it changed the culture. So she said now, if they're a happy and positive person, she will hire them. And if she needs to train them the skills, then she will.
Oh.
And I don't really. It's the only snippet. I've not watched the full interview,
That's
but
all
it's
you
just
need.
really landed with me. So then I didn't know who it was because I think I'd not read the caption that went with it. I just watched the video, and so I had to go back and find it so I could see who she was, and then looked into her. And it's actually quite inspirational because she's made some mistakes and failed at things, but learned from them. And I really like hire happy people. Like, why would you not? But then it makes me sad about all the people who aren't happy. We need to help them be happy.
Yeah,
And then that's a whole other
that's
Pandora's box, isn't it? Like, why aren't they happy, and how can you help them be happy?
Yeah, how can you influence improving their happiness? Is it internal? Is it external?
Well, happiness it's infectious, isn't it?
It is infectious.
If someone is happy and positive around you, you feel those things. But also, pessimism and negativity is infectious as well. So you got to be careful when you're hiring, because you need to hire the people that are gonna. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. But I'm gonna.
You're editing
But
yourself.
will influence the rest of
That's
your
it.
company into being happy and positive and not the opposite.
Yeah.
So that's why your recruitment processes have to be that way.
Hmm.
Because if they are that way, then you will notice the people who don't fit with it.
And you'll attract the right people. I put one final thing. So we have a value at Fresh, which is don't be a dick, and like having a don't be a dick alarm. So like you can have an internal one as well, can't you? And sometimes mine goes off sometimes. So if you're thinking or you're acting or you're behaving in a certain way, like sucking the energy out of the room a little bit, or you're being a bit of a dick, you need to just set an alarm off, don't you? Like, hold on. And stop being like that.
Stop being a dick.
Reverse. So basically, just be happy and promote happiness. That's the message, really.
And yesterday, I wasn't feeling happy and positive. Things got on top of me. So you can't force it. You can't. We're not robots. We can't always feel happy and positive all the time.
Yeah.
But I think if you can focus on that as an aim and a goal and a practice a lot of the time, then I think you're onto a winner. Because yesterday I was honest about that I wasn't feeling it, and the team picked me up. We had a dance around the office. They bought me sweets. I posted about it on social media. People messaged me with jokes. People checked in, see it was all right. And then therefore I finished the day yesterday feeling more happy and positive than I did at the beginning, because of the community that I've created around me.
Great. And that is good. Very good.
There you go. So basically, be happy, promote happiness, the end.
The end.
And if you want some help doing this in your workplace,
Who do you think could help you, please?
you could ask me and I would be delighted to help you. So message me on LinkedIn or send me an email, laura@fp-resourcing.co.uk.
The final thing that we would like to signpost you to, of course, you know what's coming. It's the Freshies 2024 on the 21st of June at Blackburn Cathedral, which may or may not have a bishop in it. And that is a big old house of God. And it's our non-for-profit awards evening, where 420 wonderful people from the Northwest will be all celebrating each other and their businesses, and raising money for charity. We've got 4 charities. We're trying to raise £20,000. Laura's going to name the 4 charities right now for you.
Let's make a difference. Focus on finding housing for people that need it. 6 Connections. Focus on health, well-being, connections, community,
Excellent.
Positivity.
Yep.
Team 1C, which is a charity that supports families of children that have congenital heart diseases. And boot out breast cancer. Basically what it says on the tin.
Great. Myself and Laura are also running the London Marathon on the 21st of April in London, in England. We're trying to raise money for shelter.
Well, we're not trying. We are.
We are raising money for shelter. We're trying to raise £4,000 between us. It's £2,000 each.
Which is really hard work.
Holy crap-a-rama. If you're a business out there and you would like to support Laura and I in our quest to reach £4,000, we will put the link on your screen now, hopefully on your phone or your PC, whatever you're looking at, listen to this on. There'll be a link to our Just Giving page. We would absolutely love
your
really support.
would.
And I say that from the bottom of my heart and pencil case.
Also, I am on the hunt for a headline sponsor for the Freshies.
Ooh. If you'd like to be a headline sponsor for the Freshies and get your brand and your business, your organisation all over the branding for this fantastic award and be involved to raise £20,000 for charity, please send Vicky Taylor a message on LinkedIn.
You'd literally, your company's name and logo would be on every single post and image about the Freshies. You get a table of 8 tickets as well, and we just make a big song and dance about you, and you'll help us raise money for those 4 amazing charities. So we're looking for a spend of around £4,000 or £5,000 for a headline sponsor. So if you are able to do that, then that would be amazing.
Thank you. We would really appreciate that. We have chatted for a long time, but I've had a good time.
I've had a good time.
Great. Anything else to say?
No.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to A Fresh Perspective on Business podcast.
Please make sure you subscribe to us.
And don't forget to follow us and leave us a 5-star rating or review.
You can also find us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn.
God, we are everywhere. And our website address is www.fp-resourcing.co.uk. And that's a wrap. Bye.